Just let me know what you're seeing on your end, because now I've stopped sharing the screen.
Okay, Sister Shahana, please just wait.
Also, share this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. نحمد ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. I welcome you all, dear brothers and sisters, to the orientation session for Spring 2026 semester. For all those of you who have joined, may this semester be a source of learning, a source of hikmah, a source of wisdom, and a source of reviving our hearts, inshallah. Ameen. So let's begin our session today without much further ado. This is a time of empowering minds and a time of AI and automation. And the world is taken by a storm by the influence of AI and its innovation. So, how do we navigate this time as Muslims with this technology, with in which there is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah says in the Quran, say, are those of who equal to those who do not know? Only those who possess understanding will remember. And also in Surah Al Imran, Allah says, indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth and the alternation of the night and day are signs for people of understanding. Allah reminds us that in the creation of the heavens and the earth and in the creation of all that we see around, in the creation that we have in our hands, there's signs of understanding. In this day and age, this verse calls us that we use our intellect and we reflect deeply and we pursue knowledge with responsibility. True empowerment comes when technology is guided through thoughtful minds and conscious reflections. So it is a time that the Ummah uses this technology in the best of way so that we may be capable of handling the situations that are thrown at us. It's time for us to gear up, to learn, to engage, to enhance ourselves, to use these tools, to be at the forefront so that we're able to carry on this and lead the Ummah through it instead of being at the receiving end. With this, inshallah, I would like to start our session for today. In this session, we are going to have a brief message from Dr. Bilal Phillips, who's the Chancellor at our university. We're also going to have a look at the study material, the course evaluation, uh, a brief look at the dashboard and how to navigate the portal is also going to be included. We're going to talk about the study method, the semester cycle, and how you can seek support from the faculty. We're also going to talk about exam centers, the importance of assignments, uh, time management tips, and support from the IOU, Students Affairs Office. Student Representative Council and local student committees are also part of IO, which are going to be presented. The Students' Code of Conduct and Complaint Procedure, and this is going to be followed by a Q&A session with the SISC officer. Dr. Bilal Phillips. I'm sure all of you are very familiar with Dr. Bilal Phillips, who is the founder and chancellor of IOU. Dr. Bilal Phillips is a Canadian Islamic scholar, and shortly after his reversion to Islam, he embarked on a spiritual academic journey to the other side of the world, seeking Islamic knowledge in Saudi Arabia, where he completed his bachelor's at the University of Al Madinah and a master's in Islamic theology at Riyadh, and later a PhD at the University of Wales in Islamic theology. Dr. Bilal Phillips has written and translated and commented over 50 published books on various Islamic topics. He has also edited, published 56 books on Iman reading series for children and presented Islamic programs for a number of years on Riyadh Channel, Sharjah TV, as well as Peace TV, Huda TV, Islam Channel, and The Deen Show. So without further ado, a message from him.
Assalamu alaikum. Here to welcome you as you begin a new journey of learning and growth. Today, in an age dominated by artificial intelligence, automation, and rapid technological change, you will be called on to empower your minds in ways that machines are unable. Clarity of judgment. Clarity of thought means thinking critically, reflecting deeply, and discerning truth amidst constant flow of information. All the while remembering that reflection and understanding preserve our autonomy and our wisdom. Sincerity of heart reminds us that knowledge and skills are meaningful only when guided by pure intentions and a desire to benefit others. Without it, intelligence easily becomes arrogance, and efficiency becomes haste, which can easily harm rather than help. And ethical judgment is what allows you to make decisions with integrity, fairness, and courage, ensuring that your work, creativity, and leadership serve humanity and uphold justice, even in the case of inconvenience or pressure. Empowering yourselves in this way is not about competing with machines, but about cultivating intellect, character, and purpose together so that every action and decision reflects benefit, nobility, and responsibility. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you minds that are sharp and discerning, hearts that are sincere, and judgment that is just and ethical. And may He guide you to be contributors and leaders who advance knowledge, serve humanity, and strengthen faith. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah khair, Dr. Bilal Phillips. We really pray and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless your efforts, accept all your ibadah this Ramadan, and make all of us a source of sadaqah jariyah for you, and may Allah preserve you for IU and for the Ummah. Jazakallah khair for those wise words. Um, so yes, brothers and sisters, back to what is at hand, an overview of what you're embarking here, your journey here at IUU, what to expect, how to learn, how to make your time beneficial for both yourself and for those around you. So, beginning, we have an overview here of the study material that is provided to you depending on your program. So, whichever course that you're enrolled here at IUU this semester, you have access to certain resources that are common to all students. So you have access to the course text, which is the reading material that is available for your particular course. You have access to audio and video lectures uh, on the course content. Each course may have ranging from 20 to 40 modules. Uh, each content is divided into smaller units of video lectures that you may be able to access easily in smaller bites. Each video session, which is 1 hour long, can be divided into 3 parts, part A, B, and C, and they all constitute one module. Following the module, there is a quiz that you're attempting to assess your knowledge that you've gained by listening to the videos. So this is going to be one comprehensive unit, one module that constitutes one part of your program. Now, corresponding to that module, you're also going to have access to the slides which are available, and this is again supportive of the content that's made available. Now, depending on your course, you may have supplementary recorded sessions that are accessible for you to make use of that resource. Now, each course has certain audio lectures, and those are meant to be the primary mode of information. But the supplementary recorded sessions may be there to enhance your learning, to make certain concepts available to you by the course teacher. Now, following that, you also have the midterms and the final term exam study questions. Following these modules, you can have access to the exam study questions, gain some idea of how you've been practicing, what you should be focusing on, what are the relevant points, so that you are well prepared before the exams. Right before the exams, live sessions are conducted by the course teachers, and these are meant to clarify any queries, any concerns, any concepts, clarity for which that might be needed. So it's encouraged that do attend these live sessions. These are an opportunity for you to interact with your teacher, so that you may have a better understanding of whatever information that is available to you. So this is an overview of the study material presented. Again, we have pre-recorded video lectures that are available, and you're meant to be completing them every week. Do not make it a source of lagging behind, because since these materials are available, you need to be persistent and consistent in joining and covering up the content on your own without um, without an information or message, a reminder from the teacher. So this is on your own, but you should be mindful and careful about that. So moving on, this is an overview of how your course is going to be evaluated. Now, the course evaluation is done through multiple ways, and the aggregate is considered at the end. Each type of coursework contributes to a fixed percentage to the final grade. You have one assignment per course, which will information for which will be available after module 15. So when you scroll down on your course page and you go beyond module 15, you're going to find the information about the assignment. Moreover, the MAIS program is course-based, so you're going to have research papers if you're enrolled in any of the master's program. These research papers are going to have their own deadlines, and you need to scroll and make yourself familiar with these deadlines that are available for your particular program on the course page. Now, every module has a quiz soon after. So after you listen to the video lectures, you must attempt the quiz, which is also called the unit test, and constitutes MCQs, which is helping you to revise the content that you've learned in the video. Then you have the midterms exams, which are multiple choice questions and also open-ended questions. The students must register for their midterm exams and their final term exams at the exam center. So this is something essential for you to be attempting these exams. You should also be knowing which category you fall under. All revised programs have midterms and final terms that are of two parts. Part A has the multiple choice questions and Part B are open-ended questions. So this is how your evaluation will occur. All periodic evaluations and their deadlines are available on the course page at the course calendar in the event schedule. So you can make a mark of those and make sure that you're attending them timely. Now the study method. So how are you meant to study here at IAU online with all these research, all these information that is available to you? Firstly, you have the event schedule in the calendar with the important dates, as I mentioned before, available at the portal. You must see the course syllabus section, which is also available on the course page. It shows you the course content. It also divides for you all the number of modules on all the number of weeks you have. So if you have, let's say, 20 modules or 15 modules, and you have nearly 2 months to do it. So it's a weekly assignment of how many number of modules you're meant to be covering per week. So this is a good division, a good study aid that is accessible to you. It's important that you download it and see for yourself that for each course, what are the requirements from me, from my end? How am I supposed to study this particular subject? How much time should I dedicate for this particular subject per week or per day? Start of the semester is a good time to do that. If you start the semester with a lag and delay things for later on and do not plan now, it's highly likely that you will be having a load full of videos and lectures and modules that you would need to cover right before the exams. So this is a good point to start. Now, once you've seen the event schedule, you've seen the calendar, you've noted down the important deadlines, you also have a look at you've also had a look at the course syllabus and you know how many modules you must be covering per week. Now, there is then the downloadable course textbooks and reading section. So you have access to the material, you download those, you, according to your timetable, assign how much should be read, when, what time of the day are you going to engage in it, which is the most productive time for you, when are you most energized during this Ramadan. Our schedules are very different, our timings are very different. Subhanallah, just a week more, nearly a week to go for Ramadan, and we'll be back to our own schedules. So making the most of this time filled with barakah, in which we can commit without, we can commit how to learn in this for the rest of the year. So moving forward, once you've downloaded the textbooks, and you've decided how much to take, how much to cover each week, you can now dedicate time to listening to the modules, the videos. Again, back to the fact that we've planned accordingly and we're trying to meet our goals that are there for daily or weekly commitment. Now, once we've listened to the videos, we've read the reading material as assigned for the week, there's a course note section. While you're listening to the audio lectures, you have access, you may be making your own notes, but you also have access to course notes as they're compiled by other students over the years. These may or may not be as accurate as they're not endorsed by IUU, but they're there in case you might be needing any assistance from them. So this is an overview of the study method. At all times, if you feel the need to seek clarification, there are student discussion forums, there are Ask the Teacher forums, there discussion forums are available for you to put in your questions. You can email your course faculty members, you can email the help desk, you can also contact the student counseling desk, the student success team. All of the personnel are there to assist you on this journey. So if you have any queries, you can bring them up to the to appropriate staff and do not keep waiting on, which may impact your study schedule. So all course related queries, all queries that are related to the subject of the course, the material of the course, they must be put forward to the course faculty. The teacher contact is available at the portal, and inshallah, once we are navigating the course page, we're going to have a look at that also. So now, a bit deeper look. If you are enrolled in the undergraduate program this semester, and you're either part of BALS or BSc IBF or BBA or any other bachelor's program for that part, then you're going to have two exams, the midterms and the final terms. The midterms are going to have 30 MCQs and they're going to hold a 60% weightage. They are goals. The first part is MCQs, which is part A. The second part is open-ended questions, which is 40% weightage. And this number may vary depending on the name of your program and the course content or the teacher. But overall, 60% of the weightage is for part A and the 40% is the weightage is for part B. Now, final terms exams are also on the similar pattern, and both of these must be attempted at the exam center. Now, the maximum duration for you to complete a bachelor's program at IOU as a full-time student is 6 years. The normal duration is 4 years, but you can shift to part-time program or freeze your semester, but the maximum duration is 6 years, that by which you must be completing your program. As a part-time student, the full-time duration is 9 years. Students will not be allowed to retake a particular module or course more than 3 times. That means that in case, God forbid, you fail a program, fail a course, then you may not be able to take it more than 3 times. Students who do not complete at least 25 credits from first year curriculum within first year calendar should not be allowed to continue the program. So you must complete 25 credit hours within the first year in enrollment. So this is an important note that to keep in mind starting off here at IUU. If you've enrolled as a master's student in one of our graduate programs, for example, in the MAIS or the MALS or the MSCPIC program, then for masters, as a master's student, the full-time duration is 2 years, which can be extended up to maximum 4 years. Students again will not be allowed to retake a particular exam, particular course more than 3 times in case they failed. Again, a student who has not passed all the first year courses in the program after 2 years of full-time study, they will not be allowed to enroll in any of the courses. Midterms and final terms. Now, when it comes to your master's program, you have to be very mindful of the needs of your particular program and the timeline of the subjects that you are enrolled in. Not all master's program have midterms or final terms in all their subjects and all the years. So you need to be careful. Are you having any midterms or final exams in this course, in this program that I have enrolled in? What are the midterms or the final terms that are expected of me? So you need to make yourself aware of them. University is going to be sending out general emails that are going to be in general for the whole student body, but you may ignore them if they're not relevant to you. But you should be mindful, if you have a midterm to give, then you must be registering for an exam center prior to that. And you must be making sure that you are ready when the time comes. So full-time registration students will require students to register for a minimum of 40 credits and a maximum of 60 credit per hours. And that actually determines, as a master's student, how many courses that you can take. So you cannot fall below 40 credit hours. And obviously you cannot take courses that exceed the 60 credit hour limit. If you're enrolled in the intensive Arabic program, the IAP program at IOU, then your program is entirely different from all the other students' programs at IOU. Your semester is divided into 2 sessions, namely the fall session and the spring 2026 session 1 and spring 2026 session 2. Spring 2026 session 1 begins on 3rd March. It already began on 3rd March 2026, and the spring 2026 session 2 will begin in the last week of May 2026. Now, each semester has 2 sessions, each with a midterm and a final term. And in each session, you can study only one course at a time. So for all students who are enrolled in the intensive Arabic program, you just have one Arabic course to complete. Each Arabic course that you enroll in is a prerequisite to the following course that is going to come after. So this means that you can only enroll, for example, if you enroll in Arabic 102, you can only enroll in Arabic 103 once you've passed Arabic 102. The event schedule and the calendar for IAP, as mentioned, it's different from the other programs. So it's available on the dashboard. Please download that calendar and make yourself aware of the needs of your particular program. Okay, so at this point, let's have a look at our portal. So as you can see, once you log in into your program, this is the dashboard. Here you're going to have at the dashboard a view of your academic calendar. You're going to have access to all the dates. You're going to have a reminder of all the deadlines that are due for your particular program, for your course. Here's also a calendar view of it. Now, the most important thing, if you scroll down the dashboard, you're going to view the admin center of IOU. So here's the academics and the documents and the requests and exam center details. Once you scroll down, in these, you're going to find links to all different needs you might be having as a student at IAU. Here is the link to the community service. You may find more details on it. Here's a link to the exam center arrangements. You may find a link to register for your particular exam in your area nearby. Once you click on this, you can also download your student ID from here. Any MCQ errors that you wish to report, they can be reported through the links that are available here. Now, these are the links that you can use to contact student support services. You can contact the teachers according to the policy, how to contact the help desk. If you have any queries, student committees that may be local and available in your area. So this is the support, inshallah, you can get and access. If you click on the left on icon and open the sidebar, you will be able to access all the courses. Once you click on the courses, if you click on my courses, then all the courses that you're enrolled in are going to be made available here. And you have a quick link to these courses, inshallah. If you click on this block drawer on the right hand side, then it's going to give you a snapshot of the upcoming events, again, the library link, also the courses that you may be enrolled in, teacher contact. Depending on the course that you are enrolled in, relevant information is also going to come up. So these are two drawers to keep in mind and have a look out while scrolling, while navigating the course page, navigating the dashboard. Now here on the top right-hand corner, you can see your student ID. This is important as this is going to be kept in reference for all your future interactions at the university. It's also going to mention the name of the program that you're enrolled in underneath, and that is going to be important for you to see which dates and which deadlines are relevant to you. Okay, let's go back to our slides. So moving ahead, the semester cycle. This is a view of how your semester is going to look like. Once the semester starts, we are going to have orientation sessions. And after the orientation, this is the orientation session that we are going to be having for the second week of our semester. Soon, the assignment questions are to be released. You will have access to the assignment questions. All the details are going to be available at the course page under the 15th module. Once you have the assignment questions, you're going to be during the study period 1, in which you are expected to complete nearly half the content of the course for the soon approaching midterm exams. Before the midterms, you'll be meaning to make registration at the exam center, search for an appropriate exam center nearby, make sure it's convenient, it's accessible to you. And once you've registered, you can inshallah sit for the exams there. Uh, After the midterm exams, you have a deadline for the assignment, which is followed by the late assignment submission deadline. In case you have an issue with the submission of the assignment, you may also seek assistance for exemption of the penalty at the submission. So then you have the period for the late midterm exams. You may sit for the exams in the late period in case you are not able to sit for the exams in the normal period. Once the midterm exams are over, you have time now to prepare for your final term exams. Again, make sure that you register for the final term exams at an appropriate exam center. And once that is done, you may sit for the appropriate exam center, inshallah, for your final exams. This is followed by a late final exam period in which you can sit for your exams in case you were not able to sit in the normal period. Now, this is different for students in the intensive Arabic program. If you're part of the intensive Arabic program, you need to follow your own study semester cycle, which is going to be available at the event schedule. Now, seeking support from teachers. Again, as mentioned before, you can reach out to the relevant course teacher for assistance. You can contact the teacher's contact information is going to be available at the course page. The relevant, the, the appropriate channels of communication are obviously email, and you can also post your queries in Ask the Teacher forum. Now, when you call, your call must be within the teacher's official hours. It may take 48 hours for the teacher to revert back to your email. And in case you don't receive a response, you may send up a follow email or drop an email to the HOD of the department. Now, this is a small live activity. I want you all to log into your dashboards, log into your programs, and see what time does it mention at the dashboard. At IOU, all times are mentioned in UTC. I want you to log into your dashboard and see what time in UTC is mentioned at the dashboard. So you can log in to your portal, your dashboard, and once you log into the web page, you will be able to see there are the time is visible in UTC. If anybody can read what the time is and tap in the chat box. Thank you, Sister Sonia. It's 14:50 UTC. Is it 10 p.m. UTC? Make sure you are reading the time in UTC at the portal. So UTC time is going to be the time that is the one that needs to be followed with regards to all your submissions, all deadlines. You need to be mindful of that. I see there have been quite a bit of questions in the live chat. Please be assured that once you've done with this short presentation, inshallah, you'll have time to post all your questions and your queries, and inshallah, all your questions will be addressed. Thank you very much, everyone, for typing in the right time. That's correct. It's 14:51 UTC. Now, a bit of information about the exam centers. Again, this is reminded multiple times, so that um, you should be aware of this, and should be noted carefully that all exams can only be attempted at the exam centers. So it's compulsory to attempt the midterms and the final terms at IOU approved exam centers. How are you going to find IOU approved exam centers? You can go to the link as was shown on the dashboard. Once you go up the exam center registration link, you're going to see options that are suitable to your country of residence, your city of residence, on options that are available for you nearby. Um, IOU approved exam centers are separate organizations, they're not part of IOU. So, in case you do not find an exam center that is suitable for you or accessible to you, uh, you also have the option to register for a new exam center. You may approach nearby mosques or nearby Islamic centers or appropriate places who are willing to who are willing to serve as exam centers for IOU, and you may complete your correspondence with them and then register with the details on the university portal. Once you submit that request, the university will look into it, contact the particular exam center, make the arrangements, and inshallah, this should be done quite ahead of the exams when the exams are due, because it takes quite a while for such exam centers to be approved. Now, when you're making a choice for the exam center registration, do make sure that you contact the approved exam center, you make a visit, you call them, you email them, you have information that they're functioning, they're available. You check their availability for the midterms, time exams, for the time period for the midterms and the final terms, if they're available for your gender, for if they charge any fees. So now this fee is not related to IOU, so it's very specific to the exam center that you may be approaching. And there are lots of other exam centers that may be not be charging any fee. So yes, if they're available on weekends or weekdays, now that is something that you must inquire beforehand before registering for the exam center. Now, assignments. As mentioned, for your successful completion of the semester, you have to attempt unit tests, you have to attempt midterms, you also have to attempt final terms, and one important component is the assignments. Now, the assignments constitute 15% of your total course grade. They develop critical thinking skills, research skills, and the important components of your study at IOU. Assignment questions are released right before the midterm exams, so their deadline is going to be available on your particular page. You can access the assignments through the portal on the student dashboard, and once you see the questions, you can plan your work around how you're going to write, what are the deadlines, what are the time, what is the word limit, how you meant to go about it. All these queries must be asked beforehand from the teacher, so that you're well prepared in submitting the assignments, inshallah. Now, this brings us back to time management. Studying at IAU is an online experience. Most of the content is available online. It's accessible to you. And although there will be email reminders and sometimes sessions, uh, like motivating sessions, after a period of 2 to 3 weeks on the YouTube channel of IOU. But again, the responsibility of taking this information and incorporating it lies in your hands. How you are going to manage your time, how you're going to manage your life around the responsibilities and study, how you're going to break the material down into the whole time that is available to you before the exam, that is an entire responsibility that lies in your hand. And as a student, you must be very mindful and careful about it. So, how to manage your time? Firstly, review your attention. Why you're here at IUU? Why are you seeking Islamic knowledge? Why are you seeking a particular Islamic uh, perspective on contemporary knowledge? Why is it important to you? Is if it's really important to you, if you're thinking that it serves a a purpose of your deen, fulfilling your deen, if it's to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if it's to fulfill our responsibility of gaining knowledge in Allah's path, then we should be punctual about it. We should be particular about it and not let procrastination take over. So it starts with the right intention, then with the schedule, with the important dates, uh, a, a consistency plan, what is going to help you stick to those important dates in your schedule. What are the drawbacks? If you're falling behind, if you're lagging behind, then you have the student counseling desk, the student success team, and they're there to assist you get back on track. Taking appropriate breaks, mental, physical breaks, whether they be short breaks during the day or longer breaks, end of semester or end of term, so that your motivation continues. You're able to sustain yourself through the whole period. So that is something that should be accounted for. And if you have stresses in your life, which we are going to have in all our lives because we're here for a trial, how are we going to use our beliefs, our tawakkul, and our calming strategies to help ground us back into what's important, what the focus needs to be, and how to carry on despite our trials, despite our stresses. So, inshallah, help is available. Do not hesitate to reach out. Which brings us to the Students Affairs office, which is where you will find assistance in terms of if you need any information, you can reach out to help desk for any query, any administrative query. Help desk is there to guide you in case you have um, uh, questions related to your uh, course administration, if credit hours, or any other issue that may be relevant to fee or anything of that sort. Help desk is not for answering queries related to course content. For any course related query, which is related to the information of the course, then you must contact your own course teacher for that. Now, the student success team, as I've mentioned previously, you could book an appointment or a live call uh, using WhatsApp. You can message them and they're going to help you make your semester in case you think you're lagging behind. Now, the student counseling desk is also available, and it's in case you have any special needs that need to be accommodated for. If you're looking for any kind of accommodation for your program, if you are dealing with stresses in life that need assistance, mm, these may be contacted. We also have a students Telegram group. If you wish to be part of the student groups, do reach out to help desk, and they're going to be sharing the link to join these Telegram groups. Now, Student Representative Council and local student committees are also available, and these are they're specific to your locality and your region. So if you need regional help, local help regarding your exam centers, some help in your local language, then they are the ones to go to. You may reach them at scofficer2@iou.edu.gm, or visit iou.edu.gm /representatives to find about your local student committees. Now, studying at IOU, you must abide by the rules of student code of conduct, and breaching those, disciplinary action can be taken against such students. If you face an issue with a fellow person at the university, then there's a procedure called the grievance procedure, in which you may raise a complaint against a teacher or a relevant staff member. And for that, you need to write an email to the grievance at iu.edu.gm, and they may be able to take your complaint ahead, inshallah. So your feedback matters, and that's where we grow. This is a small effort on part of one person uh, on spreading knowledge to the ummah. Together, we can make it better. Together, we can make it beneficial and fruitful and use it to revive the ummah, inshallah. So this brings us back, inshallah. This brings us to the end of our session. This is the end from my side. I would ask brother um to join the QA session, and he would take the session from here and answer your queries with regards to help desk. You're encouraged to post your queries now. Um, any queries that you may be having and any queries that you were sharing previously, so that these queries can be addressed, inshallah. So over to you, Brother Abdulaziz. Um, Jazakumullahu khair. Okay, that's okay, inshallah. As we wait for Brother Abdulaziz, he'll be joining soon. We can start taking a few of the questions as they come. I encourage all of you to start posting your questions as you've already done, so that we can address any of the questions. Okay. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for Brother Abdulaziz to join, I will just like to share information about the community service program. At IAU and all these programs, as students, you're required to complete a certain number of community service hours at the university. These hours need to be completed before your degree is allotted. You need to search the community service page and find out how many hours that you need to complete for your particular program. For the bachelor's program, the community service requirement is 216 hours. You may complete these community service hours at external organizations where you have a supervisor or somebody who can oversee your activities and sign for you and confirm for the university that you've committed certain number of hours at that organization. Uh, there are just two rules for community service to be acceptable. They should be unpaid and voluntary service, and it should be done without any obviously compensation on their part, and it should be done either at an organization or you have the option of taking up your own initiative. You can start up your own let's say iftar for people, for the needy people. So you organize an event, you organize an educational activity or an iftar activity or another suitable activity that is serving the Muslim ummah at large or Muslim audience. You bring two other members besides yourself. So it's a group of three. And you carry out your activities. And before you embark on it, you need to compile a proposal and submit it for approval. So once it's approved, you may carry out these community service hours, serve the community, serve the people around you. It can be relevant to your degree program that you're following at IUU, but it can also be in any other charity domain. So this is essential that we are mindful of. We can be, inshallah, taking care while we are completing the community service program here at IUU. Okay, so while we are at the question, so there's a question, will the teachers assign us research questions for our thesis in master's degree? So the research questions are you negotiate it with the teacher. So you present your own proposals, you provide your own inputs, and the teachers are going to either endorse it or take it further from there. So it is going to be construed together. So there's another question, how to mark our attendance. Mm, so there is no certain policy of attendance. You must be sitting for your exams, your midterms and your final term exams. You must make sure that you're submitting your assignments. However, you do not need to mark your daily attendance at the university. Okay, as an IIP student, you wish to know the time for your exams. Dear student, you can check the course calendar at the course page, again at the dashboard. That is going to show you the exact deadline, the date uh for your exams. Okay, so with regards to MAIS, there's a question that there are several research papers that are mentioned on all semesters, and so these are research papers. So they are you meant to be writing a research. MAIS is research based. It's coursework based. So you'll be meaning to engage in research with these research papers, inshallah. And you have further queries related to your research work, do share with your course teacher, inshallah, and they're going to be guiding you soon, specifically with regards to these research papers. Now, there's another question. You want to appear in late midterm exams? Do you have to inform? Yes, you have to inform. You have uh um you have to once you register for the once you register for the exam period, you must select the late exam period or supplementary exam period that applies to you. So you have, once you select that, the university is going to be informed that you're going to be sitting for the late period. Okay, with regards to community work, what kind of work does IOU provide access to under community work? So now IOU does not provide access to community work. IOU accepts students' community work, uh, work that students have done for the community around them. So basically, the students join projects, or the students engage in activities that are at organizations that are local to them. They can be in person or online. Once they join that program, once they serve at that organization, they make sure the organization signs for them, approves for them the hours that they have committed, and that signed form is submitted at the university at IUU. And once that form is submitted, then your community service hours can be approved. Okay, so in case there's no exam center in South Africa, how long do I have to register for one? Um, i- in case you do not have an exam center, again, you can register for an exam center. You have time till before the midterms. The deadline is going to be available from the calendar. You can check the event calendar, and there's going to be a deadline before which you must apply for registering for a new exam center. I have enrolled for spring 2026 Bachelor in Arabic language. I want to know the dates of the midterm. So again, brother, sorry, sister, you may just download the spring event schedule that is available at the dashboard. It's very important that you download that calendar. That calendar is going to show you the deadlines for your particular program, for your uh, particular program that you must be aware of. Okay, so how are attendance marked? Again, I informed earlier that there's no concept of attendance as long as you're completing daily modules that you've assigned for yourselves and you're sitting for the exams at the appropriate time, then the attendance is marked. Okay, so how does a final student start his project? I haven't gotten any mail. Um, so in this case, you can just email the help desk and they will be able to guide you further. So if I take the part-time program, can I one day switch back to the full-time program? Yes, absolutely. It's possible. When you're enrolling, you may request a study plan change. You can switch from part-time to full-time. Okay, so sometimes since these are recorded lectures, there may be some reference to events that are not happening in life, but you may just ignore that and just carry on with the with what is available. So as your teacher said that you will there will be further discussion at live session, but that lecture is recorded 4 years back, and that live session is also recorded. So yes, you may refer to the recorded session, a recorded live session, and I hope that answers your queries. If you have any further questions that you may post in the student discussion forum or the teacher discussion forum, inshallah, the teacher is going to get back to you. Thank you for the feedback, Tranquil Castle Stars. Assalamu alaikum. I believe that organizational responsible media should use AI to guide. Uh, Personally, they should empower close ones to live in mass and function independent of AI use better. So yes, that is something that we agree. Yes, there's a question. Does this really mean that midterm exams should be taken at designated centers? So absolutely. I repeat again, midterms and final terms both should be taken at designated centers. If you're enrolled as a new student, midterms and final terms should be at an exam center. From the phone, it doesn't show. So, students, if something does not show from the phone, you can use a laptop to view it. From a laptop, it's going to show differently. However, be assured that all the information, all the content is visible at the phone as well as the laptop. So it may view differently, but it is still available. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Am I audible?
Perfectly. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Jazakallah khair, Sister Safa, for joining in for the Q&A session. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing fine, alhamdulillah. Are we ready to go with this?
Yes, absolutely. So some of the questions have been answered, but inshallah, you'll be able to address the rest of the queries.
All right. All right. What was the last question that was answered, please?
So the
So
last
that,
question that was
yes, it's
answered. Yes, you may carry on with the TITC 102 question.
sure. All right. All right.
Over to you, Assalamu alaikum.
Okay. I haven't passed introduction to computers. Please, I want if I can be enrolled next year. I'm now in my second. You want to know how can I go about it? All right. This we would assist you at the help desk where we would guide you as to the link for the normal enrollment, and then we will proceed from there. There will be certain things to be checked at our end, and if everything is fine, then you would be allowed to enroll into this course. All right, the next question. My teacher said we will further discuss in live session, but that lecture is recorded 4 years back, and that live session is also recorded. In this case, I'd ask you to speak with the teacher in regard to this, and the teacher's details will be found on the right-hand side of your portal once you log in, and you can discuss it further. If you do not receive a conducive answer to your requirement, please email us at the helpdesk@iou.edu.gm, and we'd be happy to take it forth and check what actually is going on. Right? Now, if I take the part-time program, can one day I switch to the full-time? Yes, of course. You can switch from one study plan to another study plan, but you need to keep in mind that this study plan change will only be acceptable at the end of the semester. There is no requirement or provision for you to be changing the study plans mid-semester. As you can imagine, it would cause a lot of chaos. All right. What kind of work does IU provide under access to community work? For this, you need to email the community service department. They have a full-fledged detailed explanation for it, which they would provide to you once you email them. The email address is community.service@iou.edu.gm. All right. If I want to appear in the late midterm exams, do I have to inform? If you are looking to exempt yourself from a 15% deduction, which would be valid if you attempt exams in the late period, then yes, you would have to approach the help desk where we would guide you to an exemption link, which would help you to evade that 15% deduction. Just in case you have a genuine reason for skipping the exams in the normal period, you can, of course, avail that opportunity and save yourself from the 15% deduction if you were to attempt your exams in the late period. All you need to do is email us at the help desk and we guide you with it. All right. With regards to the MAIS program, we do have research papers and assignments. There are a mix of them depending on the course that you have opted for in the MAIS program and the semester that you're in. Based on that, the requirements that are reflected on the course portal will vary. So you need to be specific when you are telling us what you're looking at, and then we'll be able to guide you. I'm an IIP student. I want to know the time for my exams. All right. The IIP exams usually are scheduled in the week of April to May. That would be your first session. And then the finals will be scheduled at around August. All right. So um, April to May, and August would be the finals. You can check the exact dates. For that, you have your calendar that is there on your portal. And the calendar is a blue box that you can see when you scroll downwards once you have logged into the portal. And you can click on it and download the calendar, which is valid for your program. All right. Now, how will the credit hours requirement work for online students? Are you talking about credit hours or community service hours? I'm not sure if you have mixed up the two. If it is community service hours, like I told you, you have to email us at the address and we'd be able to guide you forth. All right. How to mark your attendance? There is no need for you to mark your attendance because this is an online university where the sessions are pre-recorded. So there is no requirement for you to mark your attendance as such. All right. Okay, there is no exam center in South Africa. How long do I have to register for one? All right, the examinations as far as South African students goes is followed with an online proctoring service. And the proctoring service is comes with its own sets of rules and regulations, as you can imagine. And for this, the further details will only be available with the examination officer. And you can contact Sister Isma, who is the examination officer, on centers@iou.edu.gm. So centers@iou.edu.gm, and she'd be able to guide you through the process. All right. The date of the midterm exam for the bachelor's program, it is somewhere scheduled between the second week of May, and the midterms will be held at that period of time. The supplementary midterm exams will be scheduled in the second week of June, and the finals will be scheduled in the first week of August. All right. How is attendance marked? Okay, I have answered that already. I can't find my teacher's email. The teacher's email is available at the right-hand side of your course page. Once you have logged in and you click on My Courses and you have your list of courses, you choose the course that you want. And once you open the page, there is a drawer-like option at the right-hand side. You click on it and the teacher's details will reflect on your screen. Can I take two part-time degree programs in one time? No, you cannot. We do not offer the option of giving dual programs as far as our degree programs go. If you have chosen a degree program at a university, you are only allowed to take a GDIS program or a GQMC program, which is the departments for diploma studies and Quran studies. Now, the diploma studies are non-accredited, so therefore you have the provision of joining them with your degree programs. The key thing here is that we cannot allow two accredited programs to go side by side. All right. Where can we communicate with our class fellows? Well, the provision is very limited access for this because we want to maintain the privacy of our students. For this particular reason, we take care of guarding the privacy of our students to maximum degree. Of course, discussing course material, discussing options as such. We have our Telegram groups, we have WhatsApp groups, and you can join them by sharing your email with us, and we'll be happy to share the links with you based on your gender. They are gender specific, so there is a very calm atmosphere that we would like to maintain in the Telegram groups and the WhatsApp groups. All right, can I do the course BA language with mobile, including exam, as I don't have a laptop? Well, you can. You can use your mobile phone to do the BA Arabic language, but it should be that you have already worked with it on your phone. As in, you have the keyboard at hand, you have every facility that will help you to access your exams properly using your phone. Otherwise, the preferable option is always a laptop or a desktop. But nevertheless, in case the option is not present with you, you can make use of your phone. But we would always prefer that the students give the exams on a desktop. Okay, yes, you can access the resources from the library. You need to email us at the help desk, and we would share the details of the library with you. We also have an announcement on our announcement forum where you can access the details of the IOU library, extensive with all resources for your ease and references. All right. All right. The next question is, in my area, it shows 5 centers, but the name of the centers is not showing. Okay, that seems to be a technical glitch then. It should be at either at your end or at our end. We'd have to figure that out by doing an analysis. I'd request you to email centers at iou.edu.gm, and we'd look into it further. If I'm taking the English class, can I get the material in Indonesia, or can I get only the English material? You will get only the English material. If you want the Indonesian material, you need to be joining courses or programs in the Indonesian campus, the Bahasa campus, and all your material would be in the Bahasa language. All right. The next question is, if I want to sit in late midterm exam or final exam, should I have to inform admin or need to take permission? You need to do a center registration. That would be essential for you during the midterm exams. For the final exams, there is no need to register separately for the supplementary exams. But in the midterm exam, you would need to register separately for the normal and register separately for the supplementary exams. Other than that, if you don't have, and if you're not facing any issues, there is no need to inform us. If you have already figured out things with your proctor, the date, time, location, everything, then there's no need to inform us. However, if you want to have the 15% deduction, you would need to, 15% deduction exemption, you'd have to approach us for the link, and then we'd be able to share that with you. Okay. How do we have to start community service? Community service details, like I told you, you need to email community.service@iou.edu.gm. Can I take BAIS part-time and diploma in psychology at the same time? No, you cannot. Like I said, the BAIS part-time and diploma in psychology are accredited programs. Diploma in psychology is in the process of accreditation, but regardless, both of them cannot be taken together. All right. Do we have Brother Abdulaziz with us? Already joined in? Okay. All right. I'll take fourth. Next is, can you please guide me again if I have an exam center near my home? How can I register it with IOU? Pretty simple, actually. You need to approach us with the idea that you want to register for a new center. We provide you the links for it, and then you can, place in your details. And it would take 10 to 15 days to process it because we need to verify it and we need to check if it is conducive for an examination. And accordingly, we'd approve the center. Okay, if I finish my diploma in psychology, then one day I want to take the bachelor one. Can I do the credit transfer and finish the bachelor faster. The diploma in psychology to the bachelor's can be done via credit transfer, but please note there is a 50% credit limit cap on the number of credits that you can transfer from one to another. So it would not be possible for you to actually transfer all of those courses together. It would only be possible for you to transfer 50% of them. And then after that, you have to do the rest of the courses for that particular semester accordingly, inshallah. All right. My colleague has joined in, inshallah. Next, it will be Brother Abdul Aziz taking over. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Can you hear me, brother? All right, let me take some more questions till my colleague joins in, inshallah. All right. You cannot take bachelor's along with diploma. You cannot take bachelor's along with higher certificate. That's the thing I'm saying. You cannot take any accredited programs together. Two dual programs at the same time running together cannot be done at IOU under the accreditation policies which have been revised right now. So if you're doing one program, you will finish the program and then you will join some other program. All right, I was enrolled a week after the session started for online course. In the view of that, will I be considered for time extension? A week after the online session? No, there will be no extensions as such because we have informed our students well in advance about the commencement of our new semester. The admissions are also running all the way up to 30th of March, because of which this whole month is available for enrollments. So it shouldn't be an issue, inshallah. Late submission of assignments will also be not allowed in this scenario because it would be not a genuine excuse to be given for submission of assignments because we do have ample time at hand before the submission. The IAP session will start by the 14th of March, which is when the deadline ends for the enrollments, and we would commence the IAP session by then. Do you keep the accumulative card for results for every student? This query is unclear. What do you actually mean by the accumulative card? Is it something specific to your country, or are you talking about the results card?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, brother.
So I'm in, Sister Safa.
Yes, I've been taking the questions, brother. The next set will be yours. I see a new
Inshallah.
question pop up right
Assalamu
now.
alaikum. Okay. Can I continue? Inshallah.
Yes, brother, of course.
So the next question reads, in my calendar, it shows new exam center submission. Midterm starts on 14th March. How can exam start in 2 days as we just had orientation? I'm not clear what that means, but I'm sure that's not the case. It's most likely that the date you have there is referring to when you can start the application for a new center. So there's always a time when the semester starts that you can submit your application to suggest a new center. So that's what it most likely refers to. Not that the midterm exam for the current semester is still in May. I'm taking ARB 011 at the same time as ARB 101. Is that all right? ARB 011 and ARB 101. There should be no problem with that. But we have to look into the courses. They have different course codes, so there should be no problem, inshallah. So for the student that asked that I'm taking ARB 011, the ARB 011 is one of the courses in the General Diploma campus, that is the GDIS campus, which is different from the ARB 101, which is a course in the campus portal. So that's fine. There's no problem with that. Accumulative means keeping results from each semester until the end of study at the university. So the university has a database for all your results. So you don't have to worry about that. The university has a database for all the results you have from your first semester till the end of your study or till the end of your program, inshallah. So that is kept. Is the use of laptop mandatory during exams? No, it is not mandatory. However, it is best to use a laptop or a computer to take your module test and your exams and to do your studies generally, because it gives you a better it gives you better interface for you to study, and your exams and the test are presented on a bigger screen that you can easily see the questions without formatting issues and the display cropping a text. With the laptop and the computer, inshallah, you have a better user experience than on the phone. On the phone, there are cases whereby the test might not display properly due to the text, especially for Arabic courses. So it's better, but it's not mandatory. This is my first e-learning experience. Would all assignments and exams be online? Yes, all assignments and exams are done online. However, when we say online, it means you're taking it from your computer. You're taking the assignments or the exams from the portal, just like you do any CBT-based exams. So all your assignments and exams are online. The exams are taken from an exam center. So you have to go for your midterm and final exams. You have to go to an exam center to take the exams, but you still have to take them, online. It's not a written exam. It's not handwritten exam on paper. Graded assignments will be mentioned in our calendar, right? That's not really clear, but if I get what you're asking would you be notified when your assignments are graded? if that's your question, you'll get to know when the assignments are graded. But on the face value, your question is not clear. Graded assignments we've mentioned in our calendar, right? Please kindly help to rephrase the question. When should we register the exam center for midterm exam? So on the exam center portal, there is the date, the deadline before which you should register your exam center for the midterm exam is mentioned there. This is also mentioned on the semester schedule. You can access the semester schedule on your campus homepage. On the campus homepage, once you log in, there are two videos at the top. Beneath the video, there's a bar that says semester schedule. When you click on that bar, it takes you to a PDF file where you see the dates and the events for the semester in full and in a comprehensive manner. So the deadline to register your exam center is mentioned on that semester schedule. As well, you can find the deadline to register your exam center for the midterm exam or the final exam on the exam portal. Before you move to the stage of registering an exam center, the deadlines are clearly outlined on the exam portal page. We will be notified about graded exams. Yes, you will get notifications, or you'll be aware when the assignments are graded, inshallah. When all your components, whether it is the midterm or final exams, or your assignments or research works are graded, you would know, inshallah. Does the degree/diploma provided by IUU, is it globally accepted? Inshallah, yes, it is. So the IUU is accredited from the NACO in the Gambia, and with the accreditation, the qualification can be used anywhere in the world. I must mention that it's also important that the students check, because some countries or institutions might have reservations concerning online exams. But IE is an accredited university and institution, and our programs are accredited and can be used to do further studies around the world. And we have many students that have, gotten their degrees at IU, and they've gone on to study in different parts of the world, inshallah. If I get less marks in quiz, will it affect my exams? So the way it works is that the pass mark for your course is 50%, regardless of what you get in specific course components. So once the scores you get in all the components are summed up and it passes, and it reaches or passes 50, then you pass the course. So it doesn't matter what you get in a specific course. So it's possible that your performance in the exams, in the midterm exams, for example, is not so high. However, you do well in the module test and your assignments, and then when everything is summed together with your final exams, you get above 50 or you get 50. In addition to this, I have to mention that the final exam, to take the final exam, is compulsory. So if a student does well in all the components of the exam, right, a student does well in all the components of the exam, and if a student does well in all the components of the course, but the student doesn't take the final exam, so the student has taken a module test, has done well in the midterm exams, and has also done well in the assignments. And before taking the exam, the final exams, they have a score above 50, or they have 50. If they don't take the final exam, they'll fail the course. So a student must score 50 or above, along with attempting the final exam to pass the course. I hope that clarifies. What about for Canada? Does IU degree is IU degrees recognized in Canada? Yes, inshallah. But the disclaimer I mentioned earlier would also apply, that you have to check with the institution or with the governing body in Canada when you want to use a certificate, because some institutions or bodies might have restrictions or might have reservations. In my exam center in the Gambia, students are not allowed to use mobile devices. They made the use of laptop mandatory upon all students. Yes, that's because the exam center in the Gambia is an IOU run exam center. So the rules would vary slightly. And also due to the fact that there are so many students involved. So there might be additional rules that you might not find in other exam centers that you find in the exam centers in Gambia, because the centers in Gambia are connected with the IU headquarters. Is mathematics required in order to enroll in higher certificate in information technology? Yes, it is. So you have to have a passing score. Depending on your certificate, the passing score could vary, but it's always a minimum of C in mathematics to join any of the IT degree programs. May I take you back to this, please? In my calendar, it shows new exam center submission. Midterm starts on 14 March. How can exam start? So if that's the case, right, then it's a technical glitch. We just started the semester. So the semester is barely 12 days old, or sorry, 9 days old. And so some things might not have been updated. We'll look into that, inshallah. Questions be answered pertaining to having 11 classes left when entering into your 4th year, since only 5 classes are allowed per semester. The question is not clear, but if I'm trying to understand what you're referring to. So every semester, the number of courses students can enroll in is restricted to a certain amount, depending on the student's study plan. So for students on a full-time study plan, they have a minimum they're allowed to enroll in and a maximum they're allowed to enroll in. The same thing applies to students on a part-time study plan. So if the case is that a student fails a course or they drop the course earlier, what that means is that automatically they'll be having an extra semester or extra semesters, depending on the number of courses they've dropped. So it's important that we get this clarified now, because students might leave courses earlier or they fail courses earlier, and then they already have the intention that I want to finish my program within a period of time. The fact that you cannot enroll more than a certain amount of courses in a semester, it means if you fail a course or you drop the course earlier, then you have to spend more semester. You spend extra semesters in completing the course. So if a student has 11 courses in their 4th year, then the fact that they are in their 4th year does not mean they'll be finishing their program in their 4th year. They'll finish their program when they complete all the pending courses. That's because the number of courses they can take in a semester is restricted. Please demonstrate on screen to see if my module has midterm or only finals. I'm doing masters in Islamic finance. So you can reach out to the help desk to help you with this specifically. However, you can determine if your course has a midterm of final exam by checking the course outline. So if you go to a course page, once you go through the outline of the course or the outline of the components of the course, right? If it has a midterm, you will clearly see the midterm section. You also clearly see the final exam section. Along with this, there is a right tab that could be toggled on the course page. There's a right tab that could be switched on and off on the course page, which shows the course evaluation scheme. With the course evaluation scheme, you can easily determine if a component is compulsory or not. So the course evaluation scheme would show you what each component of the course contributes to the final score of that course. So it's possible that some courses they have module test, but the module test is not important. If you take the module test or you don't take the module test, it doesn't do anything. Because when you check the evaluation scheme, you see that only the final exam and the research work contributes to the final score. And this happens a lot in the master's program. You can reach out to the help desk, inshallah, to help you with the specifics so that you can understand what I'm saying better. So just go to the course outline. On the course page, you'll be able to decipher what is available and what is not available. Then use the right tab to check out the evaluation scheme and to see how each component that is available in the course contributes to the final score. If a component is available in the course, for example, like I said, you have module test, But however, on the evaluation scheme, it's not mentioned there. Then it means that component is just there for you to use to aid your study, but it doesn't contribute to the final score. So it's not important. That's what it means. If you take it, it will not add to your final score in that scenario. Does IAP accept students with zero knowledge in Arabic? Yes. Can I skip the computer course? No. You cannot skip any course in your program. All the courses mentioned in your program are required to be completed. So if a student must keep a course in their program, they have to apply for a credit transfer. A credit transfer refers to transferring the credits that you have obtained in a specific course from another program that you completed in another university. So let's say you already finished a program in another university, and in that program, you took a computer course, a similar computer course. When you join the IUU Bachelor's in Islamic Studies, instead of having to repeat the computer course that we have again in that BAIS program, you can just request for a credit transfer, you apply for a credit transfer where your performance and the course that you did in the other program is evaluated with what we have in our own program. If it is deemed to be of the same value, inshallah, then a credit transfer will be approved for that computer course or whatever course it is. And once the credit transfer is approved, you can skip the course. But if this is not the case, all the courses in your program must be completed. What is IAP? IAP is Intensive Arabic Program. Can a student fail a course because the assignment was not submitted successfully? Yes, if they don't do well in other components of the course. So for most of the courses at the undergraduate level, that is the bachelor's, the certificates, and the diplomas, the assignment contributes between 20% to 50, between 15% to 20% of the final score. So if a student loses 15%, it doesn't mean automatic failure. However, if they don't do well in further components, it's very possible that they will fail the course. The quiz/questions are the assignments, or there is other assignments. The quiz, the module test are not the assignments. So each course has 4 components generally. Generally, there are module tests, which you see after each lecture. There are tests after each lecture. Then there is the assignment of research work that has to be done. There's a midterm exam, and there's a final exam. So the module test or the quiz or the questions you have after each lecture is different from the assignment. The assignment is released 3 weeks into the semester. So the semester started on the 3rd of March. So by the 3rd week of March, inshallah, the assignment for this semester should be released. At least, let's say, sometime next week, the assignment should be released, or the next. The date of the release of the assignment is also mentioned on the semester schedule. Can I take BIS part-time and IAP at the same time? No, it's not possible to take two. It is not possible to take 2 programs at the same time on the campus portal. So you cannot take 2 programs at the same time. You cannot take IAP and bachelor's degree together. You cannot take, regardless of your study plan, regardless of the level of the program you're studying. So some student might come and say, okay, I want to take the BIS as a full-time student or a part-time student, or I want to take the diploma in Islamic studies as a part-time student, and then take diploma in IT as part-time. So you cannot do that. You can only take 1 program at a time, regardless of the level of the program, whether it's a certificate program, it's a diploma program, or it's a bachelor's program. You can only take, and regardless of your study plan, whether you're studying on full-time or part-time, you can only take 1 program at a time. Oh, am I audible, please? Your voice is distorting. So you are saying you should have to submit for midterm center before 14th of March. So that's what I said, that probably is a glitch and it would have to be looked into. So it's most likely that there's some issue there. Until I see what you're referring to, I can't really give a response to that. Answering the question on 11 classes left in your fourth year. After completing the 10, IUU doesn't allow one class to be taken for a semester. How does a student complete that one? Well, in a situation whereby you have one course left, or you have courses that fall below the minimum uh, limit allowed, you only need to reach out to the help desk. Once you reach out to the help desk, inshallah, you'll be assisted. So when you have just one course left, obviously you'll be enrolled manually, inshallah, from the help desk. You'll be assisted with that. If there's a need to escalate for approval, that would also be done. However, when that's not the case, the enrollment rule cannot be flaunted. So it has to be a situation whereby you genuinely have a situation that would allow you to enroll outside of the rule. So which we would deem as a special case. Sounding complex. What advice will you give to first semester students for better study? Yeah. So this is a very good question. What advice will you give to first semester students for better study? One advice I'll give to a new student is that, as has been mentioned in the session, time management is key. And many students might not be used to studying online. This might be their first experience. What you need to do before you start any study is to plan yourself and plan your time. Look at your schedule outside of IAU, and also look at your schedule at IAU, like the courses you've enrolled into. Take your time to study the semester schedule. From my own experience dealing with students, I realized that they don't do this. So the semester schedule can be accessed through the blue ribbon or the blue banner on your campus portal homepage, just under the two videos that are available on the campus portal. So we have a video for the orientation and a video for the last convocation. Under that video, you have a banner that says semester schedule. That banner is clickable. So take your time, click on that banner, access the documents, and then look at all the deadlines, the dates, and all the events that have been listed there, and try to plan your study accordingly. Also, you can make most of the Excel sheet that has been provided as a guide to aid in your study. The one that shows the one that shows or that gives a guide on how many courses you should finish or how many modules you should finish at a certain time. Even that is that's a guide generally. It's very important that you try to work with that. So plan your study accordingly. Don't take beyond what you can do. If you're working full time, then you should know and understand that the fact that I use online doesn't mean it's a play or it's something not serious. Many students start with a lot of zeal, and when they get into it, they realize that subhanallah, this thing is not a play. It's very rigorous and very, very serious. So one key advice is please ensure that you plan your schedule very well. Can part-time program be converted to full-time after 2 or 3 semesters? Yes, you only need to apply for a change of study plan. I asked the question earlier about whether failing to submit the assignment can make you fail the course. The actual question is, will you be penalized for not submitting the assignment, even if you happen to? No, you're not penalized for not submitting your assignment. The only penalty you get is that you lose the marks. So like I said, for most of the courses at the undergraduate level, the assignment or research work contributes 15% to 20% to the final score. So if you lose 15 or 20% for many other students and you do well in your midterm exams and your final exams, you can pass the course very well. And also your module test, because the final exams for most courses carries the most mark and followed by the midterm exams. So if you do well in your final exams and midterm exams without taking the assignments, then you can pass the course, although it's not advised. So the pass mark is 50. Once you get 50 or above, you pass the course along with attempting the final exams. Don't forget that. If you get above 50 without attempting the final exams, then you will not pass the course. So inshallah, I think we can take one or two more questions before we round up. the session, inshallah. If you're exempted from certain subjects within the first semester, why was the second semester modules or courses added? That question is not clear. Does this mean I have to finish them in that time, or may I complete the set semester's one subject? My apologies, the question is not clear. If you need specific guidance, you can write to the help desk so that they look into what you're saying and then give you advise you better. You can just write to the helpdesk@iau.edu.gm. If you're exempted from certain subjects within the first semester. So do you mean you've applied for credit transfer and you got an approval? Is that what you're referring to? Can you explain the process of registering for the midterm exam center? In order for you to register for an exam center for your midterm exams, you only have to, when you log into your portal, if you're on the computer, at the top of the portal, on the line where you have the IAU's logo, you will find some links. Along with those, one of those links is one of the links there is the one for the center. You find exam centers there. So when you click on the exam center, you find info and arrangements. So let me start again. If you log into your campus portal on the computer, at the top, on the line where you have the IAU logo, you find some links. The courses link, calendar, upload certificate, fees, then the exam center. So when you click on the exam center, you click on the exam centers, and then you click on info. From the info page, just follow the instruction. You'll be able to register an exam center, inshallah. And if you are on the phone, all you need to do is to use the menu by the top right. Once you click on the menu on the top right of your screen, if you're on the phone, it brings out that same link bar with the IAU logo. So I hope this clarifies that. Many MCQs options are so similar. What to do in this situation? Well, you have to figure out the right answer, inshallah. You have to figure out the right. I'm not clear on the question. So many MCQ options are so similar. What to do in this situation? I would like to kindly inquire about the minimum CGPA required for graduation. I'm not sure what the exact CGPA mark is for a student to qualify for graduation, and I would like you to clarify this for me. So in order for you to qualify for graduation, you only need to pass all the courses in your program and complete all the courses in your program. So if there are 40 courses in your program, and we have mentioned earlier that the pass mark is 50, right? So you need to take all of the courses in your program and then pass all the courses in your program. Once you pass and complete all the courses in your program, you will qualify for, you'll be declared a graduate of that program. It's that simple. No need to complicate the response with CGPA. Yes, I was exempted for 2 of semester 1 subjects. So when you mean exemption, do you mean a credit transfer was approved? So if you mean a credit transfer was approved, then you don't need to repeat the courses in which credit transfer has been approved for. So what you need to do is you just move on to the next set of courses and enroll in them. You have a requirement to finish all the courses in your program, except where credit transfer has been approved for certain courses. Secondly, I would like to ask about the policy for resetting a failed course. Is it possible to wait until I complete all my courses before resetting the failed one? Also, when resetting the course, I would advise if you fail a course, please take it immediately. So let me mention this point here. For new students, when you're enrolling, ensure that you read carefully the enrollment rules. Wherever you find rules and regulations mentioned, please carefully read those rules. If you're confused about them, reach out to the help desk for clarification. The first and second semester courses are required to be finished before you complete 6 semesters. For every student, the first and second semester courses are required to be completed before you complete 6 semesters of studies. If you don't do that by the end of the 6th semester, that is by the end of your 3rd year in that program, you will not be able to enroll further. You will be required to do a registration. So if a student fails a course from semester 1 or they fail courses from semester 1 and semester 2, they must ensure that they retake and pass those courses before the 6th semester. I hope that answers the question. So for other courses outside semester 1 and 2, right, you can delay them till the end of your program, but that is not advice. Really, that is not advice. If you fail a course, please retake it immediately. Retake it as soon as possible. And when you want to retake a course, you only have to pay the semester fee and enroll in the course again. Because the amount of courses you can take in a semester is restricted based on your study plan. So as I mentioned earlier, once a student fails a course or they drop a course, automatically what this means is that there'll be an extra semester or extra semesters depending on the amount of courses they failed. So I hope I'm audible, and I hope that I've been able to provide responses to your questions. If you have any questions, please let's ask as we are drawing close to the end of the program, inshallah. So in the absence of no further questions, we'll be drawing the program to an end at this stage. As we end this session, we give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for blessing us with the opportunity to learn about His deen without having to traverse the earth for knowledge. This is indeed such a huge blessing. At the same time, and after thanking Allah, we are grateful to Dr. Bilal Phillips for for bringing up this amazing, program for conceptualizing affordable online Islamic education and bringing it to the Ummah. And we express our gratitude to all of our teachers and shuyukh who teach Islamic knowledge and add Islamic perspective to secular knowledge, making it relevant to the Ummah. All thanks as well goes to all the IUU behind the scenes staffs and volunteers who keep IUU online and running. Finally, thank you to our dear students for attending and being a part of the IUU family. May Allah bless your effort and increase your reward. Ameen, Ameen. Ask Allah to grant us all goodness and help us in all our affairs. Jazakumullahu khairan.